Hi everyone, my name is Alex Petronenko and thank you for joining the webinar on 5 ways to improve operational efficiency and profitability of professional services organizations. We're going to give just a few minutes for other participants to join and we'll start in about 2 minutes. Thank you. Okay, perfect. Well, let's get cracking. Again, thank you for joining today's webinar, where we're going to be talking about the ways of improving operational efficiency of professional services organizations. Before we jump into the webinar, let's quickly carry over some of the agendas that we have today. We're definitely going to talk about the company Creatio and who we are, what we do. Then have a quick industry outlook into the market of professional services firms. Also talk about improving the profitability through operational excellence in those organizations. And then as well talk about Creatio's local platform for CRM and BPM and how exactly it can address those needs and address those ways of improving the profitability. I am your host, Alex Petronenko, product evangelist with Creatio. I've been with the organization for almost 9 years now and have quite a lot of experience of how exactly Creatio can address the needs of our customers, specifically in professional services, firms, market, industry, and so on. Now, a few words about Creatio. Creatio is, for those of you who do not know, Creatio is a truly global vendor with 5 offices around the globe. And with the help of our more than 700 partners, we were able to reach more than 110 countries with our customer outreach. We have around 650 employees, and quite proud to say that more than half of those employees are in research and development, which means that we are truly focused on continuously develop and improve our local application platform for BPM and CRM. Creatio has been recognized across multiple Gartner Magic Quadrants for our primary product suite offering as lead management, Salesforce automation, customer engagement center, and of course for our platform foundational capabilities of local application platform and as well intelligent business process management suites. Now, we have as well been recognized across 6 Forrester waves for the same capabilities of the product, starting with dynamic management, dynamic case management applications, through digital process automation for wide deployments, and of course for our customer service, our Salesforce automation and marketing automation. And now let's talk about the industry outlook of professional services firms in general, where they are at right now and what challenges they're going to be facing in the nearest time. So as you know, through the global pandemic, the pandemic itself has actually impacted the market of professional services quite a lot. But even though the growth of this market is aided by stable economic growth forecasted in many developed and developing countries, recovering commodity prices after a significant decline in the historic period is further expected to aid the market growth itself as well. Developed economies are also expected to register stable growth during the forecast period. Additionally, emerging markets are as well expected to continue to grow slightly faster than the developed markets in the forecast period. So overall, even though there's been a certain decline, especially due to COVID-19, the markets are restoring, markets are getting adjusted and evolve together with the rest of the world. And of course, let's talk about some of the major challenges that the professional services firm face in 2021. As you know, last year was a momentous year globally, and although the disruption faced was a great challenge for many, it has propelled professional service firms to forward and driven great change in the sector, far beyond actually what was ever expected in the space of just a few months. Over the course of the next 9 months, we will definitely continue to see the sector reshape and take on new lease of life, focus on the areas of growth highlighted by the pandemic crisis and driven by the technology. Across those major challenges that we definitely see the increased competition because there's enormous increase in competition that is expected as new players enter the market or that the alternative business structures are being used and formed. We definitely see a certain level of deregulation. The increasing trend of deregulation was, reducing restrictions on almost all aspects of ownership of service providers and the way they offer their services. This will definitely open up the market to innovate some of the business models, which were not possible before due to regulatory restrictions and legislative restrictions. There's definitely a certain level of globalization where further globalization and continuous trend of outsourcing professional services to emerging markets, especially in the field of compliance and other low value added services. Changing client demands that are continuously changing, across all of the time that was, ever registered. Corporate buyers now increasingly focus on value, requiring fixed fees and more transparency on pricing. And of course, services are also being purchased via, a la carte mode, choosing different providers for different tasks. Clients will also have access to more information, enabling them to compare the cost of professional services via online marketplaces, for example, and search of alternative options have generally been made more easy. Of course, accelerated and advanced digitalization. Over recent years, we have seen professional service firms embark on their digital transformation journeys. Although there were some initial resistance to change, the sector is now driving forward for sure. And the past year in particular has been transformative as firms have needed to respond to the global pandemic. The transition to remote working last year created a new standard of digital above and beyond the level of anyone thought was possible before the previous years. And of course, this year firms must utilize digital momentum to continue to drive change. Now that the infrastructure is in place, firms must build upon it and expand the offering to fully embrace the growing number of technological possibilities available. And right now, let's have a quick poll, and we would like to hear your opinion on what are the challenges for your organization that your organization faces today. I'm going to ask my broadcasting team to launch the poll right now, just so that we can actually see what are your thoughts. Is it the increased competition, the deregulation, globalization, the changing client demands, or accelerate and advanced digitalization? Is that your primary challenge of the organization right now? Let's again just wait a couple of minutes so that every participant can vote on the poll. And I'm going to ask my broadcasting to actually share the results so we can see what do you guys think. Okay, so looks like that most of the respondents said that the increased competition and changing client demands are the two key challenges for the organizations, and accelerated and advanced digitization is actually third, where no one thought that deregulation or globalization is a challenge. Very interesting thoughts, to be honest. Thank you for sharing those. And let's at this moment just close the poll and continue with our webinar, where we're going to be talking about ways of improving profitability through operational excellence in those professional services firms. Now, definitely we want to talk about some of the key pillars of operational excellence as such. which are delivery, operations support, resources and talents, customer, and systems themselves. Where definitely when we talk about the delivery pillar, right, we say that all of the physical assets and proprietary intellectual property and technology to deliver services effectively and efficiently are key to the operational excellence. Also from the operation support, processes for decision making, facilities, and other support processes for delivery, customer support, and employees have to be perfected in order to achieve the operational excellence. Same goes to the resources and talent, right? To the ability to acquire, train, and empower employees to perform within the organizations. From the customer perspective, as a CRM player, we definitely see that there's always a need in excelling sales, marketing, and customer servicing processes. And from the system perspective, of course, everybody's looking to different financial systems, CRM system, operations and administration system, and HR systems. And the idea here is that through improving operations, therefore, there's a combined effort involving processes, people, and technology. And focusing on being the best at service delivery may not suffice if a competitor has superior system and operation support. Also, the well-oiled machine that your company needs to be relies on maximizing certain activities like billable hours while minimizing others like administrative tasks, for example. And the total profitability of the services operation depends on optimizing all of those elements. And now let's talk about the some of the top 5 ways to improve operational efficiency and profitability, where we're going to be drilling down into each of these segments, and we're going to have a more thorough look into those aspects. So first of all, digital transformation into the strategic roadmap. In recent years, digital transformation has fundamentally shifted from being a competitive advantage to being a necessity for survival. And technology has dramatically changed the business's landscape. So for example, as Vanguard's Global Chief Information Officer, John Marcante, recently pointed out, in 1958, US corporations remained by the S&P 500 index for an average of 61 years. By 2011, it was already 18 years. And today, companies are being replaced on that list approximately every 2 weeks. The continued growth of the digital platform economy will have a significant impact on firms in any of the traditional professional services sectors, as well as business services as well. And online platforms that connect sellers and buyers directly now extend to consumers, service providers, and stakeholders, all brought together to facilitate value exchange as part of a larger, more direct ecosystem. In this changing market, can the firms actually compete? They need to automate simple manual tasks and elevate employees to focus on high value work, while also gain visibility into client analytics to improve value propositions and continuous work. Next, data-driven decision making. Of course, the effective use of client data, such as customer lifetime value, CLV, customer acquisition cost, or CAC, and Net Promoter Score, assist firms in attracting and retaining the clients that will best sustain their businesses for a long term. And such data also allows firms to quickly offload clients that might be hampering profitability. The benefits of data-driven decision-making are also quite clear. First of all, you'll make more confident decisions. Once you begin collecting and analyzing data, you're likely to find that it's easier to reach a confident decision about virtually any business challenge, whether you're deciding to launch or discontinue a product, adjust your marketing message, or branch into a new market, or something else entirely. Also, data performs multiple roles. On one hand, it serves to benchmark what currently exists, which allows you to better understand the impact that any decision you make will have on your business. And moving beyond this, data is logical and concrete, and in a way that gut instinct and intuition simply aren't. By removing these subjective elements from your business decision, you can instill confidence in yourself and your company as a whole. This confidence allows your organizations to commit fully to a particular vision or strategy without being overly concerned that the wrong decision has been made. Just because a decision is based on data doesn't mean it always will be correct, though, right? And while the data might show a particular pattern or suggest a certain outcome, if the data collection process or interpretation is flawed, then any decision based on the data would be inaccurate. This is why the impact of every business decision should be regularly measured and monitored. Second of all, you'll become more proactive. When you first implement a data-driven decision-making process, it's likely to be reactionary in nature. The data tells a story which you and your organization must then react to. While this is valuable on its own, right? On its own, it's not the only role that data and analysis can play within your business. Given enough practice and the right types and quantities of data, it's also possible to leverage it in a more proactive way. For example, by identifying business opportunities before your competition does, or by detecting threats before they grow too serious. And lastly, you can also realize cost saving. There are many reasons a business might choose to invest in a big data initiative and aim to become more data-driven in its processes. And according to a recent survey of Fortune 1000 executives conducted by New Vantage Partners for the Harvard Business Review, these initiatives vary in their rates of success. One of the most impactful initiatives, according to the survey, is using data to decrease expenses. Those organizations which began projects designed to decrease expenses, more than 49% have seen value from their projects, and other initiatives have shown more mixed results. Now, reimagining the business models is also one of the key ways of improving the operational efficiencies. The firms that faced unprecedented competition from non-traditional players, and this trend continues to grow. The technology has lowered the barrier to entry for competitors in lower cost jurisdictions and RSM nodes. A series of disruptions to the traditional business models, including standalone automated services based on information technology, machine learning, and AI, also virtual firms and modularization. When building a strategy, it is imperative that firms consider the entire competitive marketplace as opposed to other professional services firms only. Historically, some of the greatest market disruptions have occurred from outside the industry. Moreover, business models innovations emerged as key differentiators for those that have gained ground during the pandemic. In fact, the survey respondents for McKinsey, who said their companies addressed the crisis very effectively, were 1.5 times more likely to report undertaking business model innovation than those who thought their organization responses were not effective. Those who adopted new business models have tended to focus on 5 areas. First of all, new digital experiences, products, and services in response to changes in customer behavior and needs, new partnerships, both within and outside of the industry, supply chain and operating model adjustments to manage risk, the sales model changes, and of course, faster product development. Where, for example, telecom companies working with insurers and healthcare providers quickly responded to the pandemic by creating telemedicine applications to assist in remote COVID-19 tests and diagnosis. And meanwhile, a consumer packaging player transformed its product development and trial process into immersive virtual experience through the help of low-code applications, of course. Moving forward, elevating employee experience, as surprising as it is. Now, the recent shift to a more employee-centric culture prioritizing the personal and career development will continue through 2021. The principle actually holds that a more satisfied workforce is the more satisfied workforce is worth the time and financial investment because retention remains high and productivity soars. Satisfied employees are generally those who find their jobs to be directly beneficial to their lives beyond the paycheck. For production operation management leaders, that means ensuring that internal communication is both transparent and accessible. To that end, contemporary workforce desire clear performance expectations and feedback on their work. So give them the tools to self-assess and be generous with direct input as well. Emphasizing the development of employees can help create a company culture that inherently improves morale, removes barriers to achievement, and encourages collaboration and efficiency. When all of the set is done, boosting the employee experience isn't just about attraction and retention. Although for star performers, those are more important than ever. Experience is all about ROI, and companies with highly engaged workforce see a measurable bottom line impact and significantly outperforming their peers and making their organizations stand out during a time of disruption. And of course, the customer connectedness, which is the last but not the least way of improving the efficiencies. The customer journey has become very complex, as we all know, and currently technology allows professional services firms to track the movements of a prospect through a website and arm salespeople with rich information about interests and preferences. Shrewd professional services firms are creating connected offers that tie together the prospect's entire experience together. And every company should reimagine their customer journey process and ensure sales and marketing have an integrated approach to addressing every customer touchpoint. To stand hand and shoulders above the competition, you can even create total experience, which is named one of the 2021 trends by Gartner. Now, total experience combines multi-experience, customer experience, employee experience, and user experience to transform the business outcome. The goal is to actually improve the overall experience where all of these pieces intersect, form a technology to employees, to customers and users. Now, this trend does enable organizations to capitalize on COVID-19 disruptors, as Gartner believes. And tightly linking all of these experiences as opposed to individually improving each one of a silo differentiates a business from competitors in a way that it is difficult to replicate, create sustainable competitive advantage. These trends enable organizations to capitalize on COVID-19 disruptors, including a remote work, mobile, virtual, or even distributed customers. For example, one telecommunications company transformed its entire customer experience in an effort to improve safety and satisfaction. First, it deployed an appointment system via an existing app. When customers arrived for their appointment and came within 75 feet of the store, they received two things: a notification to guide them through the check-in process, and an alert letting them know how long it would be before they could safely enter the store and maintain social distance. The company also adjusted its services to include more digital kiosks and enabled employees to use their own tablets to co-browse customer devices without having to physically touch the hardware. The results were a safer, more seamless, and integrated overall experience of customers and employees. Basically, those were some of the compiled data that we have put together to outline what are the challenges and what are the ways of improving the operational excellence in professional services teams. Definitely let us know in the chat and the comments area if you have any questions in this regard, if you have any thoughts that you'd like to share. And we're going to continue moving through Creatio local platform capability for CRM and BPM and how it can actually help address these challenges, address these ways of running the improvements. First of all, we in Creatio believe that we help to create a world where everyone can automate business ideas in minutes through a combination of functionality, through enabling citizen developers in building custom business applications using our pre-built functionality. Now, in our product suite, we do have the sales, marketing, and service automation capability and functionality that is also powered by our marketplace with hundreds of extensions and add-ons that accelerate the whole design and design time of the application. And what makes our offering unique is that all of that functionality was actually built using our Studio product, which is a true low-code application platform for BPM. And this means that every single out-of-the-box solution that we provide as a bundle with all of the three, or just sales and sales automation, marketing automation, service automation functionality, or a combination of a couple of those, come with the Studio and platform capability as well, which means that our customers are not limited to using only the out-of-the-box solution. By using the platform configuration tools, can extend it and can bring it forward, tailor it to their own needs. And of course, we at Creatio believe that we have these three superpowers, as we call them, that make our offering unique and that assist and support all of our customers. First of all, the crown jewel of our application, the business process management engine, that allows us to change processes faster than ever, to run system and user automation and cross-application data transformations. Also, the true local platform that makes everyone a developer, enables every non-professional developer user in making their own changes to the application, whether this is covering creation of simple segmentation lists, creating their own dashboards, or more advanced capabilities of creating UI, data model, business processes as well, and of course integrations. And definitely the out-of-the-box unified CRM to align sales, marketing, and service, to provide not integrated but shared data across different business units for them to take advantage to make better data-driven decisions, and as well incorporate all of the combination of data into their sales, marketing, and service processes. And overall, what are the benefits of a low-code CRM? First of all, when we talk about the out-of-the-box CRM, there is definitely difference in how the application is being delivered. First of all, in traditional CRMs, there's a more frequent need in manual coding and lengthy development processes rather than in a low-code CRM, where most of the configuration is done through visual drag and drop interfaces and tools, and that have a normally faster time to value results. Because the solution scope, within the solution scope of the out-of-the-box CRM, we definitely see lack of configuration capabilities as such, or those out-of-the-box CRMs are quite often purpose-built and are for a more narrow list of use cases. This creates an environment where the organization can quickly outgrow their, not so long ago acquired CRM, and again, be stuck in a process of a digital transformation of moving to a new vendor. Whilst the low-code CRM, through high configurability and ultimately no limitations in the configurability, allows our customers to quickly adapt and change the system on the fly to their changing business requirements, changing business environment in general, and of course the changing market and industry. Now, definitely the out-of-the-box CRMs have higher and more expensive support and require additional developments quite often because of lack of the functionality. Whilst local CRMs, definitely through configuration capabilities, can definitely be changed a lot faster and a lot quicker. And though within the out of the box traditional CRMs, integrations are time consuming and expensive, because of the low code nature of integrations of applications like Creatio, building integrations are also delivered through point and click style of configuration. And of course, lifecycle management of those applications varies as well, right? Where within the low code CRM, those are quite often performed in just one step, right? With the simplified deployment options. So what is a true low code development or design per se? What differentiates low code to traditional development? First of all, those are always visual modeling tools for system creation, whether these are going to be analytics, whether these are going to be for UI configuration, for business process definition, or through, let's say, dynamic case configuration. For low-code applications, there's definitely higher level of reusability of different components, right? They include quite often more flexible reporting and monitoring tools. They definitely have cross-platform accessibility, and quite often they as well have certain level of out-of-the-box functionality and features that can be reused across different business applications that are being created. And of course, the development of a low-code application is performed not by professional developers, but by citizen developers, as they're called. And what is the difference between those ultimately? So quite often, the citizen developers are not employed as professional developers full time, right? They are quite often a combination of a business user with strong technical background or a strong technical knowledge. But ultimately, those citizen developers are not professional developers per se. They are not required to have professional development training or background in order to be able to use low and no code tools for system configuration, right? And of course, when we talk about professional developers, quite often they are focusing on running, development of departmental or enterprise-wide applications, right? Whether the citizen developers are quite often just focused on individual workgroup applications per se. So how does the citizen developer eliminate user IT? First of all, what actually drives user IT is definitely the increasing number of third-party applications and lack of centralization and data silos, which ultimately impacts on the revenue and operational expenses and total cost of ownership of these applications. Whilst what citizen developers do is actually design their own application, and they can actually use a single platform and single application to do so. What they don't do is citizen developers ultimately do not become the IT of the organization, right? They do not employ risky apps that are fit to purpose or fit to a specific use case that again increase the third-party apps. And definitely they do not share the sensitive data with third parties per se, which again, makes the overall operation of the organization more secure and more safe. And of course, as such, the low-code application platforms are used in order to automate very different processes and tasks like project management, task and time management, request management, document management across very different and business units and departments of organizations. Whether those are going to be in marketing, whether those are going to be in sales, human capital, administration, even IT, research and development, and engineering teams. And at this point, we would like to hear your thoughts and answer some of your questions. If you guys have any, in order to comment on our webinar and on our findings and our capability as a vendor. Okay, and I do see a few questions in the questions area, where first of all, is it possible to integrate Creatio with existing client databases? And yes, the answer is absolutely yes. Creatio has an open API that allows us to be integrated with literally any other third-party application of any purpose or of any need. And of course, Creatio has its own database that can host and can store the customer data in order to provide a simplified access to the data for processes, for reporting, and for further integrations. Next question, what kind of support do you provide for your products? Well, we definitely provide full support to our product offerings through our own support services and as well through our partner network, depending on the type of implementation that you would be going with. Is a trial available? Yes, on our website, creatio.com, you can actually access a free 14-day trial of all of our products separate, as in marketing, sales, service, studio, and as well access a full bundled solution for all of the four. Okay. And let's see, one more question is what key performance metrics can be shown in Creatio? Creatio actually offers a very flexible analytics engine and reporting tool that is delivered through our local environment and that can bring forward any data that is sitting in the application or that has been integrated into the application. So any possible metrics or KPIs that you would need to visualize and bring forward can be actually displayed and can be shown to the end users. And let's see for one more. Can we start with something small and expand the functionality as we grow? And the answer is absolutely yes. You can actually start implementing Creatio in agile methodology, having defined smaller MVPs, rolling those out quite quickly, and then expanding the use, expanding the spread of the application across one specific department or throughout the whole organization. That is also quite possible with very flexible deployments and upgrade options that Creatio has as a local platform. Okay, at this point, let's continue with the PowerPoint, and we're actually moving to the end of our presentation. We definitely would like to remind you guys to subscribe to our YouTube channel to stay up to date with our digital events that are being published constantly to the channel, and also subscribe to our podcast Local Talks through our website or by following and scanning the QR code that you can see on the screen right now. We are constantly running digital events across different industries and across different topics: CRM, low-code, BPM, and business insights. So stay up to date and be informed of the recent trends in the markets, in the technology, and in the local space. Thank you again for your time. It was a pleasure hosting this webinar, and hope to talk to you soon.